I'm live. So we're going to be live here. Okay. I'm getting ready, okay. I'm getting ready to start my program here. We're already live. So here we are once again, my friends. Sorry for the little background noise. Once again, we find ourselves in front of the computer. We are live, going worldwide, my friends. I'm excited to be here with all of you that are going to come on board tonight. This is going to be a Q&A program. Also, the Sunday program is also going to be a Q&A program. I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of teaching. Actually, if I'm answering questions, I'm going to be teaching, right, Santos? Come on, man. You could have had a V8. So I want to welcome each and every one of you guys from around the world. I truly appreciate you. This is episode 50 of Friday Night Alive Power Hour with your host, Soldier of Self-Mastery, my friends. How are you? By the way, belated happy Valentine's Day, which was yesterday. So we're going to be doing some different things on this episode. We're going to be here. I am going to work on sticking to the 30-minute timer. And once again, I am challenging you to challenge me on this episode tonight. I want you to bring your questions. I want you to bring your concerns and your thoughts, because I know that some of you are struggling. You're having a difficult time. Well, there's no perfection in any of us. I know that we're all a work in progress, right? So let me stop this. And what I want to say is, first of all, I want to get some house cleaning out of the way real quick. One of the reasons why I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of teaching, this is going to be more of a Q&A program, is because I'm actually, my partner and I, Cephas, we are getting ready to launch a mastermind, a transformation mastermind group. It's going to be twice a month. Yes, there is going to be a small monthly fee associated with that. We're getting ready to launch that pretty soon. And I'm inviting you, my friends. There's going to be more of that coming up here on YouTube, more video information, etc. And my friends, if something's happening in your life, if you are receiving some kind of grace, some kind of change, something from this program, I'm inviting you to team up with me. I'm inviting you to share, to give financially, whatever you can give. I mean, it'd be nice if you can give $30, $40, whatever. Keep this ministry going forward. Also, we're going to be back here on Sunday. I'm still a little bit under the weather, but we're going to be back here on Sunday. Another Q&A. Actually, every Friday and Sunday that I can be on live is going to be a questions and answer program. So that is where we are at. And I want to read the proverb, because this proverb ties into some of the things that we're going to be talking about on this program. I put a video up on YouTube, about a 4-minute video 2 days ago, talking about why is it so difficult for you to change your behavior? Why is it so difficult? Why is it so challenging for us to change and transform our lives when we truly want to, right? I'm sure that you want to. Let me read this proverb, because it ties into what it is that we're going to be talking about and discussing. And I'm waiting for some questions, by the way. It says this. This is in the New Testament, Romans chapter 12. It says, verse 2. It says, "Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." By the renewing of your mind. And let me tell you, my friend, that is work. That is work. That is a discipline. Renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. We want to know purpose. I'll tell you one thing before I get started in asking questions. There's a couple of topics that I have. I'm not going to get too much in the teaching, but we all want a better sense of well-being. You want a greater sense of well-being. I know that you do, because I do, right? We want to be able to have better communication habits. We want to be able to have the power to believe in ourselves so that we can break through these areas that dominate. We've got areas that have been with us for so long, and one decision or one video or one book or one conversation is not going to change that. And I want to change. I want to change now. I'm going to stop doing this thing. 2 days later, a week later, we find ourselves doing the very same thing. Can you relate to what I'm sharing? But I did talk about these things in the video. There was a follower, someone that commented and said, you didn't answer the question in the video. Of course, I didn't answer the question because I wanted you to come to the episode tonight and ask me, why is it so hard to transform our behaviors? And that's what we're going to be discussing tonight in this episode. So I'm going to keep this 30 minutes. I'm not going to go over 30 minutes because I know that you're busy. I'm busy. A few things that I just want you to think about. Why is it so difficult to transform behaviors? Why simply trying doesn't work? Just simply trying doesn't work. And how does this, I just read the proverb that said, the renewing of the mind, renewing, that is, it's present. What is it? Let me see. It's kind of an ongoing renewing, right? Ongoing, not renew, but renewing. So, my friends, I want to welcome you to the episode. I see we've got some joinees. And by the way, there is a little bit of information at the top of the chat. I'm encouraging you to take a look at that. That's posted there. My office, my website is there at the top of the chat also. So I want to welcome each and every one of you guys to the program. Yumoto, I see Herbie Steinberg. I see Yumoto. Where's the rest of you guys? Maybe it's just going to be us. I don't know. Good afternoon. Friday Night Alive is back with a passion, and I'm still under the weather. It's kind of unusual. I've been ill for almost a month. It's really unusual, but it is what it is. And every experience that we go through, there's something in that experience. There is something in that experience that should teach us something. And first of all, I'm grateful that I've been ill because I've been able to reflect. And even though it's been a little bit of a setback, I've been able to really reflect on my life and current situations. Man, life is a challenge. So Yumoto says it is okay to push a person to change their behavior. Is it okay to push a person to change their behavior? I'm going to get to that question. Great question. Thank you, Yumoto. Because if I work with a person in changing their behavior, I help change mine. All right, we're going to get into this. We are afraid of failure. That is why we don't attempt to try to change. Herbie Steinberg, welcome to episode. By the way, this is episode number 50. Episode number 50, my friends. This is exciting. So welcome. How are you? I have bad gambling problem. Every time I waste my money at the casino, the next day I want to go again, and my brain just won't stop thinking about it until I go. Well, we're going to be dealing with this. Hang tight, Herb. Hang tight, my friend. We're going to be addressing these questions. Thank you for the questions. Yumoto, wow, we're busy tonight. We need to manhandle the fear and do the work anyway. Trevor Rensford, welcome to episode number 50 of Friday Night Alive Power Hour with your host, Soldier of Self-Mastery. By the way, I'm coming to you live out of Stockton, California from my studio. And I truly hope that those of you that are on board tonight with me, I truly hope that you're doing well. At least you're working on yourself. You're here. You're here, and that shows something about your character. You could be somewhere else. You don't have to be here at this boring program, right? You don't have to be here. You could be doing something else. Hey, you could be watching the reruns of 2.5 Men. I don't know I don't watch TV. Maybe that's on tonight or whatever. Or you could be on your way to another episode of disaster, right? And I'm talking about problem gambling or something else that is not a healthy thing for us. So thank you, Trevor. and motorized bicycles. I had a sinus infection. I was ill for about a month. It sucks moose balls, my friend. It sure does. I'm doing a whole lot better. I'm kind of dragging the remnants of this, whatever it was. I had an upper respiratory virus, and so once again, I'm excited. You know what? I'm truly excited. I'm excited about transformation. I'm excited about change. In fact, the other day I was talking to myself in front of the mirror, and I said, I apologize for the noise in the background. I looked at myself and I said, man, I'm bedazzled with myself. I'm just totally, because of where I've come from and the person that I used to be. I'm truly amazed at myself. But why am I amazed? It's because of what I've done and what I continue to do. And this is what I'm challenging you guys and through my YouTube and the program Breakthrough Academy. By the way, my second book is going to come out, 3 of Life's Most Important Questions. That book's going to be out pretty soon on Amazon and Kindle. They are going to be downloads. What is it? The ebook downloads. So if you don't want to pay more money for the book itself, buy the ebook. Okay, that'll help you out. Maybe say, and plus you can download the ebook from anywhere around the world. I'm excited about that. Herbie says gambling addiction sucks. It does suck. Now, I'm going to take on the first question here. Again, I don't want to get into too much teaching, but I want to take on this first question. Yamoto says, is it okay? In fact, I think you've already answered the question yourself. Is it okay to push a person to change their behavior? Number one, I want to say that it's not number one, we must push ourselves, first of all. In order for us to create change in other people, we have to create change in ourselves. Now, other people may be open for us to push them a little bit, right? Kind of like what you guys are coming on this episode tonight. You're open to maybe being pushed and challenged a little bit. But I know for a fact that I can't change you. Santos, that's a negative statement. Well, it's the truth. I can't change you unless you are willing to change. So you got to have that desire. You got to have that want to. And unfortunately, a lot of people are trying to do a lot of things, but they're forgetting, and I'm going to get into this a little bit in this episode, they're forgetting how real change, how do we change behavior? How do we make ourselves happier every single day? How do we transform? How do we crush the problem gambling habit like I did? Not to boast, but it's the truth. You know what? Problem gambling, I don't even really think about it that much. Every once in a while, like a little bird comes around with the thought, right? It tries to land in my head, the nest up there. And I catch it immediately. Why? Because I've dealt with that behavior. I've dealt with that behavior and I've crushed it. Now, is that behavior still in my head? Of course it is. Of course it is. As I said, I'm not going to get into too much teaching. I want to answer your questions because I want you guys to get the victory. You know what? I'm doing phenomenal. Is there still potential for more growth? Is there still potential for more behavior change? Of course there is in my life. I would be sitting here lying to you if I said that there's not more areas of my life. And as we move along and go further in life, we find other areas. We find other addictions that maybe we didn't even know, because the subconscious part of your mind is under the layers. That's why it's called the subconscious, sub, meaning below. You see, we operate right now, you and I operate with our conscious thinking, right? That's 5% of your mind, 5%. The subconscious is 95%. Now, I'm not an expert in these numbers. I'm not an expert in brain surgery or these, where they hook you up with EEGs and they put all these probes and then they do these analytical systems on computers to find out what part of your brain is firing. I'm not there. I'm not a research scientist. I just study, I practice, and I read, and I experiment on myself. And that's how I've gotten to be where I am today. I tell you, my friends, I am so grateful. I'm so grateful of where I am today. That doesn't mean that I don't have problems. I do have challenges, but it's about attitude. It's about having the right attitude. You know, and again, we're dealing with the subconscious. We're dealing with our behaviors, and some of our behaviors have been with us for 30, 40, 50 years. How the heck we're going to watch one video for 5 minutes and expect to change? Or we read a book, right? We read a book and you got knowledge, but it didn't really do anything to you. I'm going to leave you hanging there with that. So, let me see. Hopefully I'm getting to your questions here. So Yumoto also says we are afraid of failure, and that is why we don't attempt to try to change. That is true. There's a form of that change when we're so accustomed of doing the same things over and over. That's very familiar to us. When we try to step into unknown territory, there is a fear there. There's a fear factor. And if you don't go about it the right way, if you don't go about transformation the right way, what happens? Anthony Robbins has something that he calls the fire walk. People actually walk on hot coals. And in fact, there was somebody that was complaining that they got burned on the fire walk, and I don't know if they're going to try to sue Anthony Robbins. What's that? Sherry, pardon me. I got somebody in the background. You have to go on YouTube and you must be subscribed to my channel in order for you to be able to see what we're doing. So, you know, the thing about the fire walk is that's very scary. I mean, would I step on hot coals? I don't know if I would. I'm not seeking anything like that, but it's unfamiliar territory. And you're right, Yumoto, that there's a fear factor. There's a fear factor. Now, your conscious part of your brain that's where your willpower is. It's there. It's right there. So you have to exercise that willpower in order for you to get yourself going in the right direction. Can you please turn that down in the background? Yes, thank you. So I apologize. I've got somebody here that's trying to ask me questions. So the bottom line is I'm going to answer your questions. I don't want to get too much into teaching because this is what it's about, right? I want to answer your questions. What's on your mind? Why are you troubled? Why are you having difficulty? Let's tackle this. Let me see. Thank you, Yumoto. Herb Steinberg says, I have a bad gambling problem. Every time I waste my money at the casino, the next day I want to go again, and my brain just won't stop thinking about it until I go. Let me ask you a question, Herbie. How long have you been gambling? How long have you been gambling, Herbie? Can you answer that for me? Let me see if I can move my chat here a little bit. Laura, welcome to the program. Thank you for being with us tonight. I put Herbie. I see Sherry. My wife is actually on. Maybe one of these days I'll have my wife in the studio with me, and she can talk to you guys about the transformation that I've had over the last couple of years. I'm telling you, it's been a phenomenal. And I'm not boasting about myself here, but I'm trying to impress something upon you guys. I've been working on myself very, very diligently over the last few years. It's been a very work. It's been a discipline, my friends. It's been, and it's still a work, but man, I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated by what has been happening. I'm fascinated by the research, the studies that I have dived into to learn. You know, in fact, I'll even share this with you guys. Some time ago, I started asking myself, what the hell did I do to myself? How did I get myself here? I've used so many life hacks in combination. The transformation's been coming quicker and quicker. You see, you can change your life through reading a book, right? But you have to apply. That's where the difficult part is. And I'm going to get back to you, Herb, in a minute here. Herb, I apologize. So let me stop. So you've been gambling for 6 years, okay? So Herb, your subconscious is programmed. You have literally developed a habit over 6 years, my friend. Now think about this, okay? It took you 6 years, right? And you're still gambling today. Imagine how much repetition you've had of that same behavior. And let me tell you something, that is very deep in your subconscious. Now, can that habit be transformed? You better believe it can. You better believe it can. I gambled on and off for over 32 years, and I am problem gambling free today. So let me tell you, you better believe that it's possible, but you have to put in the necessary ingredients in order to make it happen. I was radical. I didn't believe whether it would happen to me. I didn't know. I really didn't know. And I'm not just talking about problem gambling, because I was a person that was insecure. You would never catch me in front of a camera going live a couple of years ago. I had fears. I had trauma. I had a very, very difficult childhood upbringing. And you know, between the ages of 0 and 7, you are programmed. A pretty much major part of your subconscious is programmed. And if you haven't had good programming and good upbringing, good advice, good parenting, good siblings, maybe a good environment, let me tell you something, that might be affecting you. It is affecting you even until this day, unless you've learned to deal with those things. So you've been gambling for 6 years. Now, Herb, let me ask you a question. What are you doing in order to stop that behavior? Can you share that with me? I know I may be picking on you a little bit. I want to challenge you. I want you to challenge me, because I want to help you guys. See, I'm already there, right? I'm already there and I'm moving forward. But I know that some of you guys are struggling with stuff, and you have to understand why you're struggling. You can't change the behavior. You can't change the behavior. You have to change the programming. I remember I used to go to counseling. I used to go to therapy, and I used to go to all these programs, right? And I would come out the same way. And I'll tell you why. Does counseling work? It can. Does therapy work? It can. Does psychological intervention work? It can. But it has to be repetitive. You know, people meet with a counselor once a month or twice a month. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. You know, I'm going to say this right here. This video right here that you guys are with on me live here, you're watching, I guarantee you, now, some of you may take me up on this challenge, and some of you are not going to listen to this. And it's not that, you know, you don't care, but it's because your programming is so deep, it prevents you from working another program. And until you make a solid decision, you see, that's where it starts. There has to be a solid decision. It's do or die. And that's where your 5% of your mind comes in, because 5% is not going to override the 95%. Your subconscious is 95% of your brain. At least that's what I'm understanding. So think about it. If you try to change the behavior with just your power, or a little bit of this or a little bit of that, and you're using your conscious mind, 5%, do you think you're going to overcome 95%? Of course not. So how do you change the 95%? That's the key. That is the goal to transforming your life, my friend. So let me see what Sherry says here. Because of my husband, I no longer go to casinos. Thank you, Santos. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you for sharing that with me. And that is true. She knows she's been with me for what, 23? We're going on our 23rd year of marriage. And maybe Sunday I'll have her in the studio with me, because normally she doesn't like to be in front of the camera. Sean, welcome to the program. We're talking with Herbie right now. I'm trying to stop. It's hard. Yes, it is hard. Herbie, the reason why it's so hard is because you're trying to deal with the 95%, my friend. Hopefully, and as I was saying, you watch this video. Watch this video once it's done. I know people come to my videos and they'll watch 5 minutes and then they'll go right to the casino, right immediately. There's no change there. Why is there no change? I tell you what, watch one of my videos 50 times and see what happens to your subconscious. Well, Santos, what do you mean? I can't sit there and watch your video 50 times. You can watch my video and you can play it in the background. And there's other ways. I'll get into that probably on Sunday. There's all kinds of different ways that we can actually pound the subconscious into submission, but it has to be repetitive. Herbie, you've been doing this for 6 years or longer. You're 26, you're still young, you've got a good brain, it's still probably still developing. But think about it. You've been doing it for 6 years, okay? What's it going to take to begin to replace that behavior that you've been doing for 6 years? One book, a 10-minute video, one counseling session. Stay away from the drugs, the pills. You know, most people are looking for the pill today. They're looking for the little fix-it pill. I'm giving you the fix-it pill today. Take it, my friend, with a good glass of milk. Take it in, my friend. Watch this video. I've got other videos that deal with temptation and the emotions and all of that. The problem and the challenge is getting yourself to commit to doing repetitive actions that are going to actually get below your thinking into under the layers, the subconscious. Remember that word sub means below, like a submarine, right? Submarine goes under the water. That's your subconscious. And that's what you're dealing with, my friends. That's one of the major, in fact, that is the major reason why you're not conquering your behaviors. And I believe me, I'm 50, I'm going to be 53 this year. And it wasn't up until probably the last couple of years that I actually began to transform my life. So I struggled for many, many years. I didn't know why. I had no clue, man. I had a fear of men. I used to be afraid of men, not women. Like I ran around with too many women. But I had a fear. And what Santos? Finally, when I started asking myself some questions, right? I made a decision. I want change. I started asking myself questions. And I realized that when I was a child, my dad was always beating my mother. I mean, cutting her with knife, putting her in the hospital. There was a point where he stabbed her 5 times, and we saw this. I was afraid, fear, all of that stuff was in my subconscious, and I went through most of my life with all of those things kind of hidden. I tried to hide it most of the time, but it would always come out. Because your behavior, I don't care how much you try to hide your behavior, if your subconscious is not dealt with, your behavior is going to pop out, you know, like, I don't know, maybe I'm not going to use that analogy. They say women have breast implants and they put silicone in there, but every once in a while, those silicone implants, they pop out or they leak. It's the same thing with our behavior. You can't cover it up. You can't cover it up. You have to retrain. You must find ways to retrain. And believe me, if you come to Soldiers of Self-Mastery YouTube channel, you're going to learn a lot of techniques. You just have to begin to apply them. Herbie, I know I've answered your question, at least part of it, and hopefully that gives you some insight. Racing Investments, welcome to the episode number 50. I started gambling at 8 years old. I gambled for 30 years. Now 38 years old. It's a monster. The same thing, my friend. You know, and each and every one of us are different. A lot of the things that I still do on myself may not necessarily work for you. But I guarantee you, if you take 1 or 2 of these life hacks that I'm sharing with you and you use it over and over until you puke, you're going to change your behavior. I guarantee it. In the Little Red Book, that's on Amazon, there's been people that have read that book but have not applied the little tools, the little exercises. They don't, if you don't apply it, in fact, that book is kind of a strange book because it has a bunch of life hacks in it. And a lot of those life hacks I've applied and I know they work, guaranteed they work. But you got to be willing to read. You got to be willing to study. You got to be willing to apply. You got to be willing to do it. It's like Yumoto said, it's do or die. It's do or die. And that's the mentality that you got to have, because if you don't train your brain's going to train you. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of people taking their lives. I was reading in a forum today about a young man that overdosed on heroin and some other stuff, 26 years young. And there's people that are younger than that. The guy didn't make it through his addiction. This is, in fact, suicide rates are going up for problem gamblers. And if we don't stop to think, you see, that's why your conscious thinking is good, right? Because you got that 5%. That's where you think logically, right? Man, I got to think, okay. But you got to get into your subconscious. Remember, 5%. Your conscious thinking is like 5% of your mind, right? Your subconscious is 95%. Does that make sense to you? You know, 5% versus 95%. How in the world are you going to overcome that big iceberg that's underneath the water with just a little bit of the tip? No, my friend. There has to be a decision. And of course, I talk about tools. So let me see if I got some other questions, because time, wow, we went over 30 minutes already. Wow. Racing investments, went to a bridge at 19 and contemplated suicide. Life wrecker. I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. There's Andrew Liss, 320. He says, I left after 10 minutes and was so happy to get the hell out of there. I'm telling you, that excites me. That statement that you just made right there excites me, because I used to go in the casinos and I couldn't leave after 10 minutes. Of course, I don't go there anymore. But man, if you can go into a casino and walk out with your money in your pocket, that's phenomenal, my friend. And I would encourage you to stay the hell out of there. So smoky, angry people reeked of alcohol. Yeah, there's some casinos that are pretty clean, but there's other casinos that, man, it's the slime pit, you know. It's the devil's it's the devil's playground, and I'm telling you, my friend, once that sharp hook is in your subconscious, it's going to be very difficult to challenge it. Now, you can break the pattern, but it's going to take a lot of work. And I'm being blunt, I'm being completely honest, because I'm talking from experience here. So if you're not getting the victory in your life, that's the reason is because you're trying to deal with the behavior and you're not dealing with the programming inside of your subconscious. So let's see, Andrew Liss says, didn't gamble for over 3 months after losing 1,000 in one night in a moment of weakness last night. Oh boy, I went back, took one step into the casino and remembered what you said about the atmosphere. And you walked out. Well, I mean, that's phenomenal, my friend. That's a victory right there. So Laura says, I hate casinos. It's like I have no desire to ever go. And what's the book, Herbie? What is the book called? Herbie, if you go to the top of the chat right there, you can go to my website, my personal homepage, and you can click on book. I also have an academy where people can actually purchase that, and you can enroll, and you can use that program. It's a step-by-step program that's going to actually help you change the way you think, and it's going to help you deal with your subconscious. The Problem Gambling Breakthrough Academy. Now, that's a little bit more money, obviously, but it's something that you can have for lifetime. And the book is the Little Red Book. You can also go, it's the Little Red Book. You can also go on my website there, soldiersofselfmastery.com, and you can purchase that book. As I said, there's a second book coming out. It's a little different. It's kind of dealing with 3 questions, and I'm looking forward to that book getting out. And then I've got another book, a bigger book coming out, my life story, where people are going to really know more about me and where I've come from, the trauma, the horror. Uh, you know, I'm truly amazed, and I have to say glory to Jesus Christ, because it's His grace that has enabled me to be able to stumble upon videos and affirmations and electronic affirmations and mirror talks and self-talk and visual. Now I'm getting into more of visualization. I have something that I use. It's called the 15-minute mornings. Maybe I'll talk a little bit more about that in videos coming. 15. Well, you just take 15 minutes of your morning every day. Imagine that, 15 minutes. You add 15 minutes every day. Repetitive. And that's the key, my friend. The key is repetitiveness. So we've gone, thank you for everything you do. I see something about $5 there. I don't know what that's about. Maybe it's a little contribution. I appreciate that. Thank you. Good job, Trevor. Let me see. Trevor Rensford. Up until 2017, I problem gambled for 26 years. I managed to quit without GA meetings, and thanks to your videos. Thank you. I've changed my mindset. I no longer gamble and enjoy life every day. Right on, Trevor. I truly appreciate you for sharing that with me. Now, again, you don't have to sit in front of my videos and stare at it, right? But you can watch a video, and then you can play. You can. I'll tell you the 2 best times to reprogram your subconscious: when you are at what we call an alpha state. I believe that's what it is. Or yeah, the alpha or the theta. That's when your brain is at a very low activity. Early in the morning, you're kind of groggy, you're just getting up. That's the time to plug something in and get it into your subconscious. At nighttime, before you go to bed, plug in the head. You don't have to sit there and stare at a video. It doesn't have to be my video. It could be somebody else's video. But in my case, obviously, if you want to learn from somebody that's done it, if you want the victory in your life, you have to learn from somebody that's already done it. Success leaves clues, my friend. And I'm truly amazed. I'm truly amazed at what I've been able to do. And again, I say by the grace of the Almighty, because the Bible plays a big role. And if you've ever read the Bible, I would encourage you to read the Bible. I'm not talking about going to church. In fact, I warn people about stepping into churches, because the churches have a lot of things going on spiritually that we don't know about. For me, I felt liberated. In fact, I got more revelation from the Bible when I stepped out of the church. And I read, I meditate, I use scripture as affirmation. And of course, I'm a person of prayer. I pray. And that's been my foundation. A lot of teachers and philosophers that I listen to today, many of them don't give credit to the master of the universe. They give credit to other men or systems or programs. And I mean, I'm not saying that those things are wrong. In my life, I know where my strength comes from. So I have to give glory to the Lord, because He is the one that's enabled me to stumble upon these things that I'm sharing with you. And hopefully, as I get continued emails and comments, I can see people's lives changing. And I'm telling you, it brings kind of a tear to my heart, because I started my journey a couple years ago, and I see that it's been growing and helping a lot of people. So thank you for the donation. I truly appreciate that. Those of you that are giving. And again, a lot of the stuff that I've done, I do it as a labor of love, but I have bills, internet, I got to pay people to do things for me so that I can get things out there. And so I truly appreciate what you give to this ministry, because it continues to help me. It's going to push me to help more people. And that's my goal. My goal is to transform lives, man. My goal is to make sure that you get happiness in your every day. My goal is to make sure that you have a greater sense of well-being, my friend. My goal is to help educate you to understand what is going on inside your head. A lot of people don't know. They cry, they kick, they scream, they do this and the other thing, but they don't work inside. Get on the inside, right? Get into that subconscious area. So thank you for sharing these things. Welcome, DL says, true, Laura, I hate them now too, you. Yumoto says, would you says it's okay to get really angry when things don't go your way, but work on shortening time that you recover? There's nothing wrong with anger as long as you use it in a positive sense, right? Anger should motivate you. I've allowed my anger to get out of hand at times because, you see, behavior patterns in your subconscious become laws, become principles, right? The law of gravity, you can't see it, but you can see the effects of it, right? And there's many different laws that we can't see, but we can see the effects, right? The law of the wind. You can't see the wind, but you can see stuff flying around and trees breaking and branches. It's the same thing with your subconscious. You can't see these laws inside, but you can see them operating in your members, in your life, right? Moment you say, I'm not going to the casino anymore, and then 2 days later, you're sitting there pushing the button, that law is operating very strongly in your life. You see, now, from this program tonight, some of you, I'm hoping that all of you are going to gain a little bit of insight into your own life. Wow, I got to deal with myself. Okay, what? Now you can begin forming a plan. Now you can get some tools together. And remember, it's all about repetitiveness. 6 years, I've been gambling. I was gambling over 32 plus years. And I could never figure out why until I realized, man, there was a seed planted very early on. Remember those early years? It was an escape. But man, I tell you what, it feels tremendously awesome to be liberated from that one thing. And then all the other things that are coming off like dead branches on a tree. So there's nothing wrong with anger as long as you use it wisely. And you should use your anger. Get angry, man. Get angry at these principles and laws that are operating underneath the surface in your own head, man. Get angry and, deal with it. Watch a video 50. Get so angry that you watch a video 50 times. Get so angry that you get my book, right? You look at it. Maybe you take one or two of those life hacks, those little exercises that I share in the little red book, and you say, you know what? I'm going to master this, man. I'm going to master it. And you master it. And next you know, that behavior that you were trying to deal with is kind of fading away little by little. And wow, you know what? This wasn't so difficult, man. But you did the work. You had the discipline. You made the decision. My friends, I've gone overboard. I'm going to take on a few more questions here. Man, 4:44. I want to thank each and every one of you guys. I truly want to thank you for donating. And by the way, my partner and I, we are going to be, we're launching pretty soon. I have the website up, all the information. We are going to have a mastermind transformation group where we are going to dissect into a lot of areas: the mind, success, business, relationships, self-talk, being happy every single day. That's going to be very, very specific. My partner's going to teach in that. I'm going to teach. That is going to be a monthly program. I think it's going to be like $47 a month. We're going to meet twice a month. We're not going to do it like this. It's going to be actually a Zoom cast or a Google Hangout. It's going to be a phenomenal program. I'm inviting you guys to get involved. It's going to be $47 a month. We gotta keep the bills going and everything. And of course, our research, our time, and everything that we're doing. So that's coming. The mastermind, the transformation mastermind group. I'm going to be sharing some more of that on my YouTube. And also, if you haven't subscribed to soldiersofselfmastery.com/happier, All you do is go to soldiersofselfmastery.com. In fact, you can go there and you can subscribe. But soldiersofselfmastery.com/happier. You're going to subscribe to my email, and you're going to get periodic emails during the week. We're going to be talking about different things, videos, motivation, and you can, and my friend, if you want to get involved, if you want to team up, if you see something in your life that you can share with our ministry, that you can help, maybe there's something that you can help me make better. I'm open. Do not hesitate to send me an email because I take suggestions. Okay. I don't know everything. I need people. I need a team. And I've got a couple of people already, but I need more people that can help me expand, help me reach out to more people, create more things. It's all about transforming our lives, transforming the lives of other people. So that's what it's about, my friends. Hey, I didn't cough one time in this episode, which is phenomenal. So racing investments, did you lose a lot of friends when you gave up gambling? My friend, racing investments, thank you, Yumoto. Mastermind group, it's coming, my friend. Yes, I've given up. I've turned my back on a lot of people. Well, maybe not a lot of people, because I was kind of like a loner. I had a few friends, but I've had to turn my back on certain people. And let me tell you something. I've lost a lot over the years, and I'm still dealing with the remnants of the damage that I've caused. See, that's the thing about gambling and addictions, that once you get the victory over it, now you have to face your life head on. And it can get ugly in areas because of things that you've done, people that you've taken advantage of, credit cards, money that's been taken or stolen, lies, and all of these things. And yeah, you have to begin to make amends if you can. Some people won't forgive you. That's their problem. You have to forgive yourself. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and forgive yourself and begin loving yourself all over again, because we become very ugly when we're involved in these types of things that they damage us. And then there's collateral damage. I believe it was Yumoto or Jim Gorilla gas bikes that said we cause collateral damage. And man, I've gone overboard on this program. So thank you, Laura, for your encouraging statement there. Yes, I'll be paying debts for at least 2 years. That's part of the program. Okay, my friends, I want to thank each and every one of you. Once again, I'm going to leave you with this. Okay. Find what works for you. Watch the videos. In fact, I've got on my playlists on my YouTube channel, and we're going to be back here on Sunday again, 4 p.m. On my YouTube channel, I've got playlists, my digital coaches that I've listened to over the years: Maxwell Maltz, Napoleon Hill, Earl Nightingale, Jim Rohn, Anthony Robbins, the Bible, #1. Okay, I'm encouraging you to read the Bible, scripture, meditate. And there's many, many others that I still listen to. And I'm talking about 50, 60, 70 times of watching and listening to these videos late at night into the 3 or 4 o'clock hours in the morning, believe me. And then I'd get up and go to work. And exactly, I still do that today. I don't have to do it because I've already programmed many areas, but I keep doing it because I want to reinforce. You know what, man? I want to break my subconscious. I want to pound it, because I want to be, when I meet people, when people meet me, they're going to know, man, this guy's just out there, man. He's cut from a different cloth, and I'm going to take advantage of it, because there was a period in my life where I was basically a hermit under a rock, afraid. And today I'm a different person. In fact, I amaze myself sometimes, but I've done the work. I've done the work, my friends, and I'm encouraging each and every one of you to get angry. Like I believe it was Yumoto said there, get angry and realize that the work needs to be done inside. You can go to a counselor, you can go to a psychiatrist, you can do all of those things, but do a lot of it. Once a month, twice a month is not really going to do it. You got to, it's repetitive. It's repetitive, man. And I tell you, once you start feeling those mental shifts in your subconscious, like, what is going on? That behavior is no longer operating in my life, man, I'm telling you. So thank you, each and every one of you guys, for joining. Bring a friend, Sunday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. My friends, continue to share, give to this ministry, whatever you can give. Keep me on the air, challenge me, bring your questions, and we're going to get into this again on Sunday. Peace through strength from the top of my heart. I truly appreciate each and every one of you guys. Remember to make every day super fantastic, terrific, and over the top in spite of and because of. I salute you, my friend. I'll see you on the next episode. Peace. Oh, I'm going to play just a little bit of music before I go away. Is that okay? Let's try this. I'll get it somehow. Well, I apologize for lying. I didn't keep it 30 minutes. I want to thank you guys. Thank you, Laura, Emoto, Racing Investments, DL, Sherry, Rolon, Laura, who else? I might have missed a couple of. Trevor, Rainsford, thank you for being on the episode. Andrew Wiss, 320, my friend, fight, fight, fight. Herbie, thank you. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode. Invite a friend, bring somebody, or bring yourself. Sean, thank you for being here with us. We'll see you next Sunday. This Sunday coming up. Peace.